Hi, and welcome back. I wanted to talk a little bit about what we did in Disney World. I know I'm putting on a lot of Disney content, but just because it was really interesting. It was a very special experience. When we started planning this trip, it was like once in a lifetime, right? Like my husband and I went for our second anniversary. So we drove down. We stopped in South Carolina to see his brother. We spent a night in Savannah, Georgia, I know why we spent a night in Savannah, Georgia. We went there because that is the birthplace of the Girl Scouts, and I was a very proud Girl Scout, and so I just wanted to check it out. So we went and did that, and then we drove to Orlando. I think we only stayed there for like 3 nights. We only did one day in Magic Kingdom, and looking back, this was 2015, okay? So we're two 25-year-olds in Magic Kingdom, and we took a break in the middle of the day. And every time I think about that now, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, we totally could have gone open to close. Like, we got there. That was back when they had they had like a little show on top of the train station. If you got there early enough in the morning, and we got there early enough to catch most of that. So we were there, and somehow I thought it was a good idea to take a break in the middle of the day. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So this was something that we've always talked about doing. And it was like, when are we going to be able to afford this? Now we have 4 kids. Like, we wanted to wait until they could really enjoy it, because we knew like this is a big deal. We're not going to be the type of people to go every year, even though, spoiler, I would love to keep going back if it was something that we could do, but probably not. Anyways, so when we planned it with the idea that like we might not go back when our kids are young anymore. Like, the next time we go back, they could be teenagers, they could be adults. Like, I don't know. So I wrote in one of the planners I got, it was the first in a lifetime trip. I didn't want to write once in a lifetime, because I'm like, we're gonna go back at some point. Anyways, so that's kind of was my thought. We did have to make the tough decision to only do 3 parks and decide which park. And so Hollywood Studios did get the boot, mainly because we are not big Star Wars fan. Like, while we like Toy Story, I knew my kids wouldn't get on Slinky. Like, I just knew that of all the parks, like, that was the one that would be least crowd pleasing for our particular family. So that was the choice we made. And I mentioned this in the budget video. We originally booked at All-Star Music Family Suite. We got the upgrade to Art of Animation, which ended up being like perfect for us. We were in the Cars area, which was awesome. So I just want to give a rundown of like what our days look like. So we left on Saturday, August 23rd at about 6 in the morning. We drove from there to near Savannah, Georgia. I think we might have been right past it, and stayed at a hotel for the night, used some points, whatever. Got up the next morning. We actually drove from there to the largest McDonald's in the world, which we thought was going to be really cool. It was cool to be there. Thinking back now, I would have made a different choice. Like, it was McDonald's. Like, we could have skipped that and just gone straight to our resort and been in the Magic just a little bit sooner, but that was fine.
Look, we made it! Jackson, it's Mickey! There's nothing on this side.
So we got there, we explored a little bit. When we first got there and checked in, they said our room wasn't ready. But by the time we dropped our bags off and parked the car and was like walking around exploring, I got a text saying that it was ready. So we ended up going to our room, moving the car, going back to get the bags. Actually, no, we called for the bags and they brought the bags over, and kind of getting settled in. And then the kids wanted to swim. And that was the benefit of being at Art of Animation, is that because they have one of the best pools on property. So we went and did that. That was fun. Hung out there for a while. Then we went back to the room, got cleaned up. Everybody took showers, washed kids' hair, all that stuff. And then we went to our dinner at Whispering Canyon Cafe. We actually drove there. So we drove from Art of Animation. That is at Wilderness Lodge, which If you're familiar with Disney World, there's no way to get from one resort to another resort without, like with Disney transportation, you have to go to a park and then from park to another resort. So we drove, which worked out because we needed gas at that point, and there is a gas station over there in that Magic Kingdom resort area. There's also, this is an important note, there's also a car care center. So if anything happens to your car while you're there, there's a car care center where you can drop it off. And I think they'll transport you back to your resort or to a park or whatever, so that they can work on your car and you can continue with your trip and not have to stress about that. So that's really nice. And from what I've heard, it's like reasonably priced, like same price that you would pay anywhere else. So we went there, great meal, but we were very, very tired. So it was kind of hard to enjoy it. One of the funny things is that we got upgraded to Art of Animation because of the Cool Kid Summer promotion that they had going on. We actually didn't get any Cool Kid Summer stuff at Art of Animation, but when we went to dinner that night at Wilderness Lodge, they gave all of our kids these Cool Kid Summer bags with like activities and stuff in them, which was great. Um, so that was our first day. We went back to the resort, went to bed, and got ready for the next day. Okay, so day one. Day one's plan was to rope drop Animal Kingdom. We actually drove there. It is the farthest from, well, maybe not. It felt like the farthest from our resort, which is funny because originally we were going to be staying really close to there. It would have been like a 4-minute drive. But, anyways, it was fine. We got there super early. We got good parking. It's really easy to get into the way their parking lot is set up. So, no big deal. We got slowed down because the very first day we went, and this is what I think slowed us down. My husband got pulled into security, and that was the only day we took ice packs because it was the only day our ice packs were actually still cold because again, no full size freezer, so we couldn't refreeze them. And it's the only day we got stopped by security, and he had to wait in the line to get his bags checked. So that held us up a few minutes, kind of slowed down our momentum, but no big deal. Um, we got into the park and it was really cool. We almost immediately saw Doug and Russell. They just were kind of hanging out in the entrance to the park. So I took some video of them. They were like pretended to see a bird flying away. Like it was really cute. And then we walked a little bit further and we saw Mickey and Minnie in their like safari outfits. And that was really cute. So we got to talk to them for a little bit. They don't at that time, they don't like stop and take pictures with you. Like you can't line up or anything. They're just kind of hanging out and you can just talk to them and then you just keep going. So we went straight to Pandora and rope drop Navi River Journey. We took some pictures when we were leaving Pandora, and then we stopped at the very first Wilderness Explorer stand that we saw, got the books and whatever, sat there for the spiel. I think my kids were into it then, but like the more we went to it, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, let's go do something else. Like we can learn about animals anytime, whatever. So then we headed over to Africa. I think we might have grabbed some breakfast at that point. I can give you a rundown of the day though. We did the safari. After the safari, we walked through the gorilla trails. We went over to try to see the Lion King show, which we had pretty good seats. It was on like the second act, and like something happened with the technology and it started glitching. And like they tried for a few minutes to get it figured out and they just couldn't. So our show ended up getting canceled and we had to leave. And at that point, it was like, we're not going to sit around and wait for another show because they're spaced like an hour apart and we were going to other parts of the park after that. So that was kind of a bummer. We went, I think that's when we got some ice cream and like took a bathroom break and all that kind of stuff. And then we went out to Rafiki's Planet Watch, which if you know anything about that, you have to take a train. You cannot take your stroller. So you have to leave your stroller parked and then go. And a tip for anybody planning to go, anytime you are leaving your stroller just parked somewhere, cover it with a rain cover. Like make sure you have a rain cover, cover your stroller because you never know when it's going to start raining. And that is a forewarning. We went out to Rafiki's Planet Watch. We explored like the inside area. We didn't go to the petting zoo. That's not really our thing. And then we did the animation experience where we learned how to draw. We get to draw Goofy. So it was fun. We did have to wait a bit for that because there was one already going on when we got there. And then when we came out of there, it like almost immediately started drizzling. And so we're like, okay, we need to head back. And then at this point, like everybody's leaving. So now there's a ton of people and we missed the first train. And then it seemed like it took forever for the second train to come. And we were like jamming onto that train to get back. It was fine. The downside was it did not stop raining at that point. Like it continued to rain. So we started heading towards Asia, Dino Land area, which is there's not much there anymore. Like by the time we got to the boneyard was shut down. So the kids didn't get to try that out at all, which was kind of sad because I knew that they would really enjoy it. We mobile ordered some food. This was also really sad. I went to go pick up the food. My husband took the kids. They happened to come across a line for Donald, and because it started storming, they cut off the line, and like my family was literally the next family that would have gone, and they didn't get to go because they had to get the characters inside, which understandable, but still disappointing. But it worked out because then when we went inside of the restaurant to eat, Daisy was in there and she hadn't left yet. And so we ended up getting our first signature of the trip, which is great. Some pictures. I think that was also our first, uh, what's it called? We did Memory Maker. So our first like Memory Maker pictures of the trip, Photo Pass, that's what it's called. Um, we did that. We ate. We left there and we wanted to meet Moana. And Moana was meeting inside. So we're like, oh, well, that shouldn't be a problem. Like she's inside. Like, why wouldn't they have a character inside? Nope, never showed up. And the crazy thing was, like, I couldn't find any cast members. Like the only cast members that were working were ones who were like inside of a store or inside of a restaurant. So when I finally found somebody that was like standing at a stand and I asked them what was going on, like if we could expect her to come out, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's a code, whatever. Like they have a code for when there's lightning in the area." And they're like, everybody goes inside. And so I guess it means like anybody who works outside goes inside for safety, and like because there was like nobody. And so at that point it was like maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock, and we were just like, okay, well, if we know we're not gonna see any characters, like, everything else that was on our list for the day was the characters, and then, like, the next we wanted to see the Nemo show, but I think the next Nemo show wasn't for, like, a half hour, 45 minutes, and we were just like, "We're just not gonna make it to that." So we ended up just leaving and going back to the room and kind of resting for a little bit, put my son down for a nap. And then it actually really worked out because it got sunny again, of course, because Florida. And we ended up being able to explore the resort. So I took my girls, we walked from where we were in the cars area all the way down to the Little Mermaid area so they could see all the big statues and stuff. And then it was time for tie dye. So we were able to go do tie dye at the resort, which we weren't planning to do till Wednesday, but we're like, we're here, we're not doing anything else, let's do tie dye. And then I took them back. They got to lay in the room and watch a movie and actually did a little laundry because at this point it's been Saturday, Sunday, it's Monday. I'm like, let's do laundry. So we did that. We got dinner I think that might have been the day we got a pizza. I don't know. We got dinner in the food court there, and then we rode the Skyliner over to the boardwalk area so that we could do beaches and cream. And one of our goals, we had like this scavenger hunt book, and one of our goals was to ride different transportation. So we took the Skyliner to the Epcot Skyliner stop, and then there's a boat there. And I was like, oh, the boat's here. Instead of walking to the yacht club, let's take the boat. So we took the boat down and around and we got to see stuff and we got to save our feet a little bit. And we went and did that. And then we ended up walking back and taking the Skyliner back. So that was our first full day there. Day two. Day two was our Epcot day. And I think this was probably our most successful day, if I do say so myself. We had an excellent rope drop. Like we got there early. We drove. So say that we drove. We got a really good parking spot, like end of a row. It was great. we like right next to the preferred. There was like nobody in preferred, but we weren't upgrading to preferred. Also, I didn't mention this, but when you stay on property, you do get free parking. So we're not paying for parking each of these times we're driving, which is why it made sense to drive. Um, so we drove, parked, we walked in, we got some pictures in front of Spaceship Earth. We took pictures of other people because we had people take pictures for us, which was cool because it was pretty empty at that point. And then we went straight to Frozen. We were early enough. We had time to stop at the Joffrey's and get one of those giant pink donuts. And we ate that while we were standing in line waiting. And then once they opened, we went in, pretty much walked straight on, rode it. And then the line was still so short when we came out that we were like, let's ride it again. My husband and my older daughter opted out of it the second time, but I took the other three kids and we went on together and really enjoyed it. Meanwhile, while we were doing that, they went in. I really wanted to try the Norwegian school bread. So they grabbed that for me, which was delicious, by the way. We left there. We headed back towards Mexico and we rode the Three Caballeros inside the Mexico Pavilion. Whatever. We were there. Why not ride it? And then we started heading towards Guardians of the Galaxy because I think my husband's lightning lane for that was like 10 or 10:20 or something. We had an earlier lightning lane, but it was on the other side of the park. So it was kind of like, it doesn't make sense for us. So originally we were planning to walk over there and then he was just going to run back over, but the timing just didn't work out. So he went there. I took the kids. We saw the playground. They wanted to play on the playground. So we played on this little playground right there, like on the backside of Connections, I think. And then we started walking across. We happened to cross the Encanto show. So we sat and watched the Encanto show. My 2-year-old was like running around. I'm trying to watch them. My oldest got picked to be part of the show. She got to spin a little fish around, whatever. So we pretty much hung out there until he came. And then we went to go start using our lightning lanes. And I can't remember what order I had them in, but I know we rode Nemo, we rode Living with the Land, we went and did the Journey of Water. We were supposed to do Soarin' at some point, but Soarin' went down and didn't come back up while we were in that area. I don't think we did anything else over there. Oh, we had a Remy. That's what I had. I had a lightning lane for Remy for like noon or something. So we knew the plan was we'll walk, like, because we had tested out the whole Skyliner and realized like, okay, we're good with the Skyliner. Our plan was to get back there, ride the Skyliner to take our midday break and then come back. So that's what we did. We headed that direction, walked through Canada, got to the UK. We stopped in the UK and went and met Winnie the Pooh, which was fun. So that was our first character of the day there. Then I bought a gift for a friend in the tea shop. We went back and rode Remy, which Remy almost shut down on us. We were on the ride and it stopped like almost immediately after we started moving. We sat there for a good 5 minutes before it started moving again. But that was fun. When we came out of there, we realized there was a line forming because Belle was about to come out in her like classic dress, not her princess dress. So we stood around and waited. This was our first time using our cooling towels, which came in handy. I stuck them in. I had a bag of like ice water because I didn't have the ice packs this day. I just put ice in a Ziploc bag and that's what we used for that day. And that worked out. And then it melted and I stuck the cooling towels in there. So we waited around, took some pictures with her, got a signature from her. Then we headed out to the Skyliner, went back, put the toddler down for a nap. The girls watched a movie, ate some snacks, whatever. I think we headed back to the park. So that was probably around 1 or so. We probably headed back to the park around 4. Hopped back on the Skyliner, went back over. And this time we decided to do World Showcase. So we started back towards France. And at this point we were doing the passports. I don't remember what they're called. But we were stopping in each of the countries to get the passports. We got, what are those things called? The snowballs in Japan. I also we went into the shops in Japan and I got a couple souvenirs for myself there. So I'm really into origami and I fold paper cranes. So I got this cute little paper crane. Technically it's an incense holder. I'm not planning to use it for that. It's just sitting on my shelf now. But I got that for myself. I don't think anybody else got anything there. Then we started walking. My husband got a pretzel in Germany that he said wasn't great, but the caramel popcorn and the caramel butter bar in Germany, delicious. Um, where else did we stop? I don't think we did much in China. We kind of just sped through China. When we got back to Norway, though, and we didn't see any characters in any of this part. When we got back to Norway, though, we did go in to meet Anna and Elsa, and we got pictures in there and pictures in the little shop that's like after that. And then we made it back to Mexico. I wanted the nachos from Mexico, so I stopped and ordered the nachos in Mexico. My husband took all the kids to Connections Eatery, and they got food in there. And we all sat down and ate in there, took a bathroom break, whatever, because at this point now we've walked all the way back around, right? And so then we left there. We did Club Cool. So I think after we left there, we did Club Cool. And then we went back over, and this is when we did Soarin'. We did Soarin'. Well, we attempted to do Soarin'. This, if I have one regret of the whole trip, this is my one regret. We did rider. We had lightning lanes. We did rider swap. We got all that set up. We got in line. It was me, my older daughter, and one of my twins, and we were going to go in, and then my husband and the other twin were going to go the next time. We get all the way in. We missed the cutoff to get into the room, so now we're standing there. Like, I'm getting increasingly nervous. When I get nervous, I have to go to the bathroom. So now I'm like, oh gosh, like this is not good. Like, I'm trying to hold it together for them. We get in, we see the ride vehicles or the seats, and my twin daughter, who was 7, was just like, I don't want to do this. And I had already resolved, like, I'm not making them do anything they don't want to do. Like, I'm not going to try to talk them into it. They say they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. So, the cast members were really nice. They're like, oh, you can just go wait right out there. And I'm like, I'm not going to make her wait by herself. She's 7. I'm also like, my older daughter was old enough to stay by herself. She was 9, and they're like, she can stay by herself. She didn't want to ride by herself. So we left. And in hindsight, I'm wishing I had been like, no, she can, text my husband, hey, she's coming out. Can you meet her at the exit? Whatever. It would have been fine. And I would have stayed and ridden it. But I was also nervous. So we walked out. And then, my older daughter and he still wanted to ride it. So they went back in, and I took all the kids, and we just went out. We tried to go see Figment, but I was confused on where we were supposed to go, so we couldn't figure that out. So we decided to go see the Pixar Short Film Festival. No, that's not what it is. What is it? I don't know. It's the short films. I don't know if that's what it's called. The short films. We get in there. Somebody has to go to the bathroom. We get to go all the way back out and find the bathrooms. We go all the way back in. Now we're just sitting there waiting. Like, whatever. It was fine. We went in. We got to see a couple of shorts. They really enjoyed it, and it was cool. So it was fine. Then my husband texted that they were done. So we left out of there. We didn't stay the whole time in the film festival. We just came back out, met them outside. Then I think that was, at this point, we were like, okay, it's getting late. Like, it was like 7 or 8 o'clock. Like, it's starting to get dark out. We're tired. And they wanted to go to the gift shop. So we took them to Creations shop and let them look around. The girls ended up all picking the like Disney Barbie style dolls. Like, they each picked a different character that they liked. And then my son just got a little pull back and go car. And then at this point, it was really, really close to time for the fireworks. And I'm like, we could go find a spot for fireworks. Everybody was so tired. So as we were walking out, I saw the Mickey and Friends, and I saw that there was no line. And I was like, okay, we got to go get some signatures. So we went in, we met Goofy, we met Mickey, we met Minnie. It was great, got their signatures, whatever. And then we left out of there, and they were still taking pictures in front of Spaceship Earth. So we went and got some of my favorite pictures are those nighttime pictures there where the ball is all lit up and it's changing colors, and it's awesome. And then as we were walking out of the park back to the car, which is still parked, really close to the front, so not a long walk. It would have been a whole lot longer walk back to the Skyliner than walking out there. Um, we got to see the fireworks on our way out, and then we could kind of see them as we were driving away. So that was the end of day 2. Okay, so day 3. This is our rest day because at this point now we've done like a 7 a.m. to like 8 or 9 p.m. at Epcot. We need a rest. We had, I think our reservation for breakfast was at 8:30, which is good time for us. Like that's actually later than we would normally be eating breakfast if we were at home. So we were able to sleep a little bit longer, take our time getting up in the morning, getting dressed, whatever. This is a character meal with face characters. So it's supposed to be Cinderella, Prince Ali, Mirabelle, and Tiana in her safari outfit. Unfortunately, which one of the reasons why I booked this is because my girls love Encanto and I wanted them to see Mirabelle. And unfortunately, she was not available this morning and we ended up with Snow White, which is fine. Got a different signature and we had danced with Mirabelle the day before, so it was fine. It was a good meal. Whatever. One of my girls was, by the time we left there, one of my girls was like over it. So this was the day we were planning to kind of explore the resorts, like deluxe resorts. We weren't staying there. So we were at the Grand Floridian. They have a photo studio in the upstairs area, which was supposed to have the glass slipper, Cinderella's glass slipper. They did not have it. We did take pictures there without one child because she was not having it. So you'll probably never see those pictures because we're missing a kid. Then we hopped on the monorail and we took it around the loop. So it takes you around to, like, you go past Magic Kingdom, you go into the Contemporary. So we got off there. We kind of were just exploring. So we got off, we looked in the gift shop, we just looked around the hotel, took some pictures, left, took it back around to the Polynesian, explored a little bit, whatever, walked outside, and then took it back to the Grand Floridian to our car. Then we left from there and went to Disney Springs. So we went over there. It was hot at this point. So at this point, it's probably like 11. Like it wasn't quite lunchtime yet because we didn't get lunch there. I think that was the plan, but we just had a buffet. We didn't need to eat. So we got Dole Whips. We walked in the Lego store, but we were kind of like, it's a Lego store. And then we went in World of Disney. We spent a long time in there trying to decide. The girls all decided on these little like book type Polly Pocket things, each with a different character. So I think we ended up with Belle, Rapunzel, and Ariel. And I don't think we got my son anything in there because I wanted to get him some cars, and the cars that I wanted to get him, we had at our resort. We did not, I really wanted to go to Gideon's, and we didn't make it to that side because it was just like, by the time you walked outside, it was so unbearably hot. Like, it was just like, I don't even want to walk around here. So we ended up going back to resort. I think we might have eaten some snacks or got some lunch or something. And then the kids wanted to swim again. So we took them to swim. Got done swimming, put my son down for a nap. Girls watched a movie. I think I did laundry again. Yes, I think I might have done like another load of laundry this day. And at this point, unfortunately, like it was time to start repacking things. So I'm like trying to clean things up, repack things because we have one more long day and then we got to hit the road. And then that night, oh, I know what we did that night. So that night we ate in the food court. We actually ate in the food court. I think this was the first time we ate in the food court instead of getting the food and taking it back to our room. Ate there. We walked over to Pop Century just to check it out. Then we walked back, and then we went and did the campfire and let the girls roast marshmallows. And we didn't do the s'mores because we'd already gotten a dessert with dinner. So it was more just the idea of like, oh, let's just do this campfire in the Lion King area, whatever. And then we headed back and went to bed. And that was day 3. And then our final day Day 4, we went to the Magic Kingdom. And this day we decided to take the bus just because of how the parking situation is at Magic Kingdom. So we got to the bus stop, I don't know, early, like 7. I think the plan was to get there at 7. I think early entry might have been at like 8. Maybe the park opened at 8:30. I don't know. I don't remember, but we made it. Um, we ended up with the issue again where we had a child who didn't want to take a picture. So we go in and we're trying to get a picture in front of the castle. They had like the fall pumpkins set up, and then we headed over to the Storybook Circus area, and our first ride was to take my 2-year-old on the Barnstormer because he was just tall enough. And it was fun. He did good. I don't know if he liked it or didn't like it. He didn't cry, but he also wasn't smiling, so I don't know. And then we went and rode Dumbo. I think between everybody, we rode Dumbo like 3 times, so that was fun. One of my other kids went on the Barnstormer with my husband. I can't remember which one, but one of my girls did. And then we headed over into Fantasyland, and we had Lightning Lane. So we hit up, I think I had like a Lightning Lane for Small World, which was what they call a burner Lightning Lane. You use it and then you book something else. So we did Small World. We did Peter Pan. Oh, before we did that, we did the teacups. We did the carousels. We did those on the way over. We did those two. We did Ariel. And then I think that's when we went and got some breakfast at the Friar's Nook, filled up our water bottle, reapplied sunscreen, all that jazz. We then went to then we went to meet princesses. So we went our top 3 princesses are Rapunzel, Ariel, and Tiana. That's what they had on princess dresses in the morning. That's who we wanted to meet. We already had met Ariel over in her area, and then we went and we met Cinderella. I don't think Cinderella had anybody with her. I think she was by herself. So we only got one princess on that side, and then we had to go back in line to the Tiana side, and Tiana had Rapunzel with her. So we got our 2 favorites checked off there. And then at that point, we were like, oh, let's go do Enchanted Tales with Belle. Yes. So we went and did Enchanted Tales with Belle. It was supposed to be like a 5-minute wait. We definitely waited longer than that. And then the whole process took a really long time because we were sitting in there and realized, oh, we have an appointment for a haircut at the barbershop, which is all the way down Main Street. So they won't open the doors for you early. And so we let somebody know like, hey, we have this. And so like at the earliest time we could, my husband took my son because both of them were getting haircuts and like ran down Main Street. And I wanted to see, of course. So then and my girls were in the Enchanted Tales with Belle. My older daughter got to be the Beast. Somebody was a teacup. That was great. They had to do all the pictures and stuff, which is really fun. So then we leave there and we got to get all the way down. Sorry. We had to get all the way down Main Street to the barbershop, which was cute. My son was doing great. He was holding this Buzz Lightyear toy. Just wonderful. Here's where the stressful part of the day comes in because I realize, oh, wait, you have to have cash for a tip. And I didn't have cash. I had planned to have cash ahead of time. I did not. So I had to find the ATM, which took forever. And then I was also trying to find stamps because I was trying to send postcards that would be stamped from the Magic Kingdom. So I'm like crisscrossing all over the place trying to find these stamps, trying to get cash. I got to take it back so I can leave a tip for the people who cut the hair, whatever. At this point, this is time for a break because it's now like, I think our appointments were at 12:20 and 12:40, but they took them both at the same time. So I think we were done by like 1 and we were like, it's hot. We got to get out of here. And at this point, we'd only done Fantasyland. Like we spent all morning in Fantasyland. But that was fine. So we left. We had to take the bus back, get back to our room, put the toddler down for a nap. Everybody rest, eat some food, watch a movie, whatever. Go back out. We get back probably about 4 or 5. I don't remember when. Go back in. We go immediately to Tomorrowland. We go into Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. We do Tomorrowland Speedway. We do People Mover. When we come off the People Mover, it's raining. So we go find our stroller. We get on. Thankfully, this day, it also rained in Epcot, but not very much. It drizzled in Epcot. We wore ponchos. And I think we did ponchos the day we were at Animal Kingdom. This day, I had packed our raincoats because I think I knew it was going to rain. So we were prepared on that front. So I had on our raincoats, but it like downpoured, like not just a drizzle. So I had gotten a lightning lane for Winnie the Pooh. So I take that back. We went and got food first for the kids in Cosmic Rays. So we sat, let them eat some chicken tenders, whatever. And then we headed back out in the rain and went over to Winnie the Pooh. We got our feet wet in Winnie the Pooh because there's this giant puddle in the lightning lane area, but whatever. Did Winnie the Pooh. And now we're working our way back around. We're in Frontierland. I went in the Christmas shop, got my mom a Mary Poppins ornament. Continued around. Me and my husband hadn't eaten at this point, so we went in. What's over there? I can see the name in my head, but whatever. I'll put it on the screen when I look it up. So me and my husband ate dinner in there. And then we went around. I had a lightning lane for Jungle Cruise. We went and did Jungle Cruise. My kids were scared of when a lot of the outside stuff had shut down because it had been raining, opened back up. Jungle Cruise, they were scared of Pirates of the Caribbean, so we didn't do that. Aladdin was wet, so we didn't do that. And this was my other regret. My husband really wanted to do the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. By the time we got to it, like it was wet, it was dark, like it just didn't seem like a good idea. And we were getting close to parade time. So we go over and we got a spot for the parade, hung out there. Oh, and then I did my best mom moment. We watched this Disney Starlight Parade, which was new at that point. And again, I had a Rapunzel fan, so we wanted to take pictures with the Rapunzel light. So after the parade, the parade started late because of the rain. There was like a half hour, 45 minutes until the fireworks were supposed to start. So I took my twins and we walked all the way around the castle over, because you couldn't cross Main Street because everything's blocked off. All the way over, took pictures with the Rapunzel light all the way back in time for the fireworks. And we ended our trip with the Happily Ever After fireworks. And it was amazing. Everything we could have wanted it to be. And then after that, we headed out to the buses and went to sleep, woke up the next morning, not too early, but like early enough that like, okay, we got to get moving. This was the day to treat ourselves. So I mobile ordered some breakfast, some Mickey waffles, because I think we did have Mickey waffles at the buffet. But I'm like, it's our last morning. We did that, but we got stopped in the gift shop because I took my girls with me. First mistake, but it worked out. They wanted to get one last souvenir. We won't even go into where those souvenirs are at this point in our lives because I couldn't tell you. But they did get picked to be the artist of the day in the ink and paint shop. So they picked one of my girls, but you can't just pick one when they're that close in age. So the nice cast members split the board into 3 spaces and they all got to draw a picture and got put artist of the bit. They all got a little certificate. They all got pins, which I am saving because they do not understand the value of the pins. I bought an Art of Animation pin for myself. We went and got our breakfast. We took it back. We ate and cleaned up and got everything packed up. And then I think my husband and I took turns like loading up the car, getting everything ready. And then we went and hit the road. And we drove from there to the Charleston area and met some family and had dinner with them. And then we drove to Lafayette, North Carolina. I think that's where it was. Something like that. Stayed the night there, got up the next morning and drove home. And that was our trip. And it was great. And I came back like, you get that bounce back offer in your email and I'm like, oh man, I would love to book another trip. And my husband's like, absolutely not. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you posted. As always, if you have any questions about anything I talked about, put it in the comments. And thanks for watching.